Welcome back to another video, guys. Today we're going to be going over my exact strategy that I use to trade, to find consistency, to actually be consistent in the markets. I've been holding on to this for a while. I don't really like posting it too many places because a lot of people like to gatekeep stuff like this and put it behind a paywall, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys anyways my entire system for profitability in the stock market. So let's start off with the actual system. What is it based off of and what strategy is it based off? My system's based off just normal simple supply and demand. I'm just looking for areas where institutional buyers are stepping in and institutional sellers. A little more on that. If you guys don't know how to draw supply and demand zones, click the annotation card or click the link below and you'll be able to actually see how to draw them, but that's going to take too long and I already have multiple videos on that, so go watch those and come back to this one. So starting off, step number one, draw your supply and demand. Now how do we go about that? If you watch the videos prior, you know that this here would be labeled as a supply zone, and to your surprise I actually longed on this setup today rather than short. And the main reason why is if we go into the 15-minute here, you'll see we were riding above our EMAs and you would look to take a short at this level, but since the EMAs were trending higher and higher and on the hourly they were higher and higher and higher, we decided to keep a lookout for a breakout to the upside rather than a move down. So your first ad for me, what my long was, my ads were at this level right here. And the reason why, the EMAs are used for breakouts and pullbacks. We're not entering on automatic breakouts of a level or a zone. We want to see the market actually give us a good price. We wanted to see it pull back so we're not caught buying the top up here or here. Instead, we're the ones who are adding down here when most people are looking to flip short. We know that we broke above supply and sellers are out of there. And now once we break above and we pull back to the EMAs, this is our ad area. And then you could see we caught a nice move. Price target was high of day and we caught that. Another thing with these EMAs is they should only be used on the 15-minute time frame. These are the 5 and 8 EMAs. I made a whole video on these as well, and you'll see I gave you guys different clues to what my system was, but never really an in-depth video on what it was. So if you guys want to watch that, that'll also be linked in the description. Moving forward, how do you actually trade based off this system? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you guys a quick diagram. I'm going to draw a quick diagram up here. The market is continuing higher up to a supply zone, and say we have EMAs just like this. These are our EMAs. Your short is not occurring up here because next thing you know, the stock could break above and then you're caught in the short. In reality, what you're waiting for is you're waiting for that rejection and then a confirmation under the EMAs to actually add shorts on that level. So your entry would be here on a 15-minute candle close under the EMAs, and then you would ride the EMAs down from there. That is what a short setup looks like. For a long setup, we go here. Let's make it green so it's a demand. The market pulls into that level and bounces. You are looking at the EMAs. If the EMAs are trending down, the market breaks those EMAs to the upside. This is your long entry, and then you ride those EMAs up to a potential supply zone or just until they invalidate, and this would be your exit. The EMAs are more so a means of confirmation for me rather than a full-on entry. It's a confluence to my designated supply or demand zone, really giving me that extra confidence to enter that play. So I'll give you a quick example here on ES. We'll move on to the hourly time frame and we'll go to when this demand was held. So we'll go to when this demand was held. We have a demand zone here. We draw it out. We'll go into the 15-minute to when the market was at that area. So here you'll see the market is trending downwards. You're not looking to just start buying when it enters this area. This is almost a 5-point zone, and most zones are 10, 15, 20 points. So you don't want to be adding into a loser the entire time. So I'm going to click play, and your entry would be this 15-minute candle close here. This 15-minute candle close here would be your entry. Rather than adding here and then having to face drawdown, you're waiting for a confirmation of a break up. The market was riding the EMAs down in a downtrend. Now we have switched trend and we just bounced off that demand zone. Now if we go back to the hourly, your price target would be this supply zone right here. This would be your first price target. Your second price target could be this supply zone up here. So these are two areas where you're looking to scale. And now if we go back to the 15-minute time frame, your stop loss is low of day here. You look for a long setup, you longed up there. This is your stop loss, and your target is up there. So 5-to-1 risk to reward, and this one is a 2-to-1. So you're really looking for a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Now I'm gonna hit play and let's see how it acts out. And there you have it. You get that move to your first target and to the second target, and you're all out at this area here. And where does it reject from? It rejects exactly at our supply zone. So where most people are calling this a chop market, you're able to catch the bottom and top multiple different times. So there you have it. Very, very simple. And then over here, you'll see the market once again test this area. Go on to the 15-minute here. Now we'll watch for a short at this level to see how the market reacts. And there you have it, 15-minute candle close. This would be your entry. Obviously it feels like chasing. I personally would not have taken this. I would have probably missed out on this entire move. I would have waited for this demand to break and then added here rather than chase this huge dump candle. So I would have added here when we broke that demand, that area of buyers, and I would be targeting these lows that we had previously put in and then go from there. And then this would have been where I scaled out. And you could see every time the market is trending to our EMAs, these are great add spots to your position for when you're in a trade and you're adding on to winners. So my entry here, if I'm being completely honest, I could lie to you guys and say, oh, I would have added on this candle close and caught a 30-point move down. I wouldn't have. That's just not my style. I would have waited to see if we take out these buyers, and you'll see initially we had a huge bounce off the buyers and then we get them taken out. This would have been my entry, and I would have targeted this low here. And if I show you guys the risk to reward on that, stop above the demand, that's around a 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Really good risk to reward. And then obviously the market continued down, but that's how you would have been able to play it. Now this works on all stocks. You could trade it on, I personally like on SPY, QQQ, Tesla, Apple, just mega cap stocks. That's really what I like to trade this on. So I use my supply and demand zones that you guys are going to watch in the description, and you'll be able to listen to how to actually draw those zones. And then I actually use my EMAs to confirm and use them as confluence to stay in a trade, and you know, to add a trade confidently rather than just rely on one area in one zone or anything. I always look for 2 points of confirmation to even add a play, because that really reduces the risks of fake outs. And a lot of people, how many times have you type it in the comments, how many times have you entered a trade and immediately goes against you? Because you're not using multiple points of confluence, rather you're just using one breakout level or one supply and demand zone and wondering why it's not working. You need to have multiple areas of confluence. I don't rely too heavily on the EMAs. I use them as a tool, as a guide to enter based off my bias, based off my supply and demand zones. That's what I use them for. I don't rely on them strictly for entry. My entry is usually based off my supply and demand levels. The EMAs provide a confluence for me to enter that. Now to go over my trade that I had today, if I go onto the hourly time frame here and I draw this zone, the supply zone, you'll see the market on the 15-minute never broke down here. So where most people who are just trading supply and demand, where they're looking to short, they're adding shorts here, and then they get completely liquidated off that candle right there. Meanwhile, since we never broke the EMAs, I'm anticipating this breakout. Now I'm not going to add when it's super extended from the EMAs. I'm going to wait for the market to pull back. The market pulled back. This was my entry here, and then there we go. I initially added when this candle slowly started to pull back when it was around here, and then I added more when this candle opened. So if I actually go here, I'll show you guys the proof so you guys know I'm not just talking randomly. So here we have it. I added more at 1.38 at 12:09 p.m. So if I go here, 12:09, I added quite literally the bottom. This is the candle I added my contracts at. If we go into the 15-minute time frame again, you'll see that was right at the very bottom here. And then once this new candle opened, my stop loss was right under this candle's low. If I bring out that risk to reward, the low of this candle here, and I'm targeting highs, it's around a 16 to 1 risk to reward. And that's because we just nailed our entry based off the EMAs there. Then after that, I got out full at 1.7. The contracts eventually ran to $2, making around $70 per contract. I missed out on that. I made $40 a contract, and I called it a day there. But that was a really short and sweet example of my strategy, my system. In my opinion, the best system in the stock market, the best one I've used, and this one's the one I've been using for a while. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope you guys subscribe, and if you guys want, I'm gonna leave a link to my free Telegram community where I write voice notes about what my thoughts are in the market and other things like that. So if you guys are interested in that, click the link down below. I'll see you guys there.